Hey guys, what's up? I'm Marilyn.
And I'm Megan.
And today we're going to be talking about some stuff that we learned because we are high school seniors and we learned a lot in the past 4 years. And it's crazy to think that in 3 short months we'll be wearing our cap and gowns and taking our final steps around the school and then walking on stage for graduation. And then again in 6 months we'll be packing up our belongings and saying tearful yet excited goodbyes to all of our friends and family as we move on to the next chapter in our lives. So over these last 4 years, we have piled together just small little pieces of evidence and advice that we have personally gone through to leave behind for our underclassmen.
Yes. So one thing that we wanted to touch on was stress, because this becomes apparent to a lot of people during high school. It's a stressful time with homework, friends, and any relationship that's really in your life because you have a lot on your shoulders. So one thing that's helped me manage my stress personally is to place perspective on stress. So say I have a test coming up, I remind myself that it's only one test, it's only for one class, and that this test is not going to be weighing down on me for a long period of time. I can easily get over it and remark my grade if it's not what I want. So
I think that's super important because a lot of people, they say it's the end of my life if I don't get an A or a B. And it kind of just
doesn't even have to go to grades.
No, I mean, it'll count towards your grade,
yeah.
But you can always make it up the next test. You can always find things to do better. Your teachers are always willing to help you improve your grade.
Yeah.
So that's also why it's important to reach out when you're struggling as well. Like your teachers, classmates, whatever, they're all doing this stuff together. It's all important. If you have a question, to speak up. I know talking to people can be intimidating sometimes, but...
And your teachers want the best for you, so it's really important to go to them. One last thing about stress is it will get a lot better if you learn to manage your time well. So freshman and sophomore year, I was the type of person to procrastinate and do my homework at midnight. And this slowly started to give me a decline in my academics. So really just prioritizing getting that done right after school or even in school when you have extra time is just the best way to eliminate that stress.
I know people have been preaching to you guys to manage your time. I'm still struggling with that myself, but just little things, just mark stuff in a notebook or something. It doesn't have to be a fancy planner that everyone says that you should need to use. Just
I literally use a Google Doc. Just write down what I need to do.
Like a spreadsheet, even just a sticky note that you use every day, and just stuff like that
can really help.
Yeah, and the other thing that we wanted to touch on was, I know there's a lot of stuff going on about friends in your life probably. I know I came from West Middle School, so I had no friends coming into high school, but it just shows to prove that the more you get yourself out there, the more friends you find, because I have a great group of friends now. And it's also important to note that as you grow as a person, you outgrow people, which, as sad as that fact is that you move on, there's different people in different stages of your life, and you always find new friends somewhere.
And one thing you should probably remind yourself, because friend drama does come up and it is very consuming sometimes, is that there's always going to be college or that next step for you, whatever it may be, where you can make new connections, because it's hard, especially senior year when everybody's found their group to branch out and just talk to new people. It's not as common, so just keeping in mind that there's going to be the future for you will help.
Yeah, I've struggled with that recently myself, as going through new friends. Megan and I are great friends now. I mean, we don't really talk all that much, but it just shows proof
from class.
Yeah, from class. You'll find new friends from class. You'll find new friends from sports you do.
Yeah.
And eventually, when you apply to college, you'll maybe get some friends going into college before you even get there, which is great. And it's always important that when you do find those good friends, you always keep them close. It's important to balance your
support
time.
system.
Have a support system through school. Have people that you can talk to. It's really good. It's really healthy in order to do that.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple other things we want to talk about. I know some of you juniors are probably talking about college right now. Even if you're not a junior, you're probably talking about college right now. And it's good that everyone is gonna, obviously everyone has their own path. You don't necessarily have to go to college, but that's always a great opportunity. I know a lot of people probably end up taking that route.
I'm actually doing an argumentative speech in AP Lang where I'm arguing for not going to college, because for a lot of people that is the reality, especially if you're looking to do a more succinct job, like a trade. Don't get discouraged by the fact that college might not be the best fit for you, or don't get discouraged by the fact that you might want to stay home for college and take online courses. Everything that you're doing to benefit your education in any sort is beneficial, and you don't have to let the perspective of others like weigh you down.
Yeah, like going to a good trade school, you can be, for example, a welder, and they make more money than a lot
There's
of
so
people.
many success stories from people that have done trade, which is awesome.
Yeah, and then we also wanted to talk about, obviously, applications are probably coming up soon for some of you, and that they are difficult and can seem super overwhelming, but I think both Megan and I, we have talked to our counselors profusely about applications, and they're always there to help you with those. And it's always important to start them early too, if you can. The more time you have, the better your application will be, which obviously increases your chances. Not by a ton, but it also gives you a little leg up there.
I kept telling myself throughout the application process, I was like, I'm a good writer. I'll be able to get my essays done in one night. So I would fill out the whole application, but really drag my feet on the essays. And that ended up kicking me in the butt because I probably could have written a few better essays than I did. But procrastination got the best of me. And I let that kind of fall. But, I mean, I'll figure it out. And that's just my advice to not do what I did. Get started on them early.
Yeah. I would say I also had the same thing, was writing the essays is what I really struggle with. They're very different from writing like a normal essay in school because you have to find evidence and you have like books to reference and stuff. This is solely based on your life and solely based on first person. And it's also, I went to a couple of teachers to have them read mine too, just to see.
Yeah, that can help a lot.
I think I had Megan read some of mine too. But yeah.
So that can help with just making sure they're good, and teachers are always willing to read them.
I also wanted to talk about even when you're applying to schools, visiting schools is cool and stuff, but if you have any problem with like the admissions process of that, you can always call the admissions, like there's a line for admissions at the college, and they're always willing to give you a ton of info. I've had people email me stuff and give me like other info to do that for, especially with scholarships and all that.
Yeah. So even with all we have learned and how much we've grown and we're ready to leave at this point, we are still grateful for the opportunities and memories that we've had for the past 4 years. It is in fact true when they say that high school goes by fast. So our biggest piece of advice is just to really soak up the time that you're in this environment and learn from like everything around you so you can have these like lessons to carry with you into college.
It's important to get yourself out there and do something that you wouldn't normally do. I mean, I did homecoming court this year and I told myself I would never ever do that, and it was a really fun experience. So as cheesy as it sounds, it's 100%, even like 1,000% true that just being yourself and like doing something that makes you feel slightly uncomfortable can have some benefits from that.
So thanks for listening to our podcast, and we hope our advice helped. So good luck to all the people that are still going through college admissions and just underclassmen in general. Thanks for listening.